Welcome in. Welcome in. It's Sports Drive with Kate. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Happy Friday. Happy December 22nd. We have Christmas literally in just a few days. So much going on. Went to one store yesterday just to pick up. My family does a gift exchange to pick up a little gift. I'm trying to find something that is good for a guy or a girl, man or woman, kind of any age, but that's cool still, which is a really hard gift to find. But I go into one store and I've never seen a line so long in my life. So I guess there's a lot of other late Christmas shoppers like me. But welcome in this morning again. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. We're going to have a great show today. Please, watch us on our new video live stream. We are live streaming on our YouTube channel. That's just ESPN Pensacola, 1330. Also on our Facebook page. So all of our social media handles, they're just at ESPN Pensacola. So make sure to tune in. You can watch the live stream, be a part of the show. You can comment on the live stream in real time. So it's great. And then if you miss anything on the show, you can always go back and catch up on anything that you missed, but always appreciate all of your support. So also just encourage you to call in with your thoughts this morning. We'll have the phone lines open. 850-623-1330. That's our number that you can call, 850-623-1330. Big game yesterday. Big game last night. New Orleans Saints and the LA Rams. We talked about and previewed this game a little bit on yesterday's show right here on Sports Drive, and one of the things that I mentioned is just there's something that's not totally clicking with the Saints. You know, I don't want to sit here. Well, there's a few different several areas, I guess, that we could look at when you're talking about the Saints and improvements that they need to make. This was a game that it wasn't a must win to get in the playoffs, but they really needed to win because they still have to go play Tampa Bay and I believe the Falcons. And they have to get wins if they want to have any shot at the playoffs. And they've struggled on the road this season. They've just struggled this season. Yesterday, I kind of questioned, is it something to do with Dennis Allen? I mean, a lot of times when things aren't working or the pieces of the puzzle aren't completely fitting together properly, it's because, well, you got to look at where did you start? Start from the very first puzzle piece. Okay, the first puzzle piece for the football team, that's usually your head coach. So is the problem Dennis Allen for the Saints? He made some pretty questionable play calls last night in some scenarios and took some risk that, you know, I think when you go for it on fourth down and you take a risk, if your team can truly get it done and they're successful, it's great. If they don't get it done and they're not successful, how the Saints were last night, it's not great. That ended up in the Rams scoring and going up before the half. That one was questionable. The way that this team, it doesn't seem the same. I want to know what you think. I truly do. What do you think? It's Dennis Allen? Do you think it's Derek Carr? It's not that Derek Carr is terrible or anything. I mean, he had a fine game, but is it what in your eyes is the missing piece and what's not working? And it could be more than one thing to you for the New Orleans Saints. Let me know. 850-623-1330. Would love to hear from you. So what I'm asking right now is, what is it about the New Orleans Saints right now that isn't completely working? Why are they not able to find success? And you watched all the pregame yesterday before last night's game, they've got a wonderful interview with Alvin Kamara, and it felt good for the Saints right there at the beginning until it wasn't. Then the fourth quarter, Saints just like crawling back, but ultimately they didn't finish the game and they didn't play all four quarters. I don't like Dennis Allen. I'll go out there and say it. I don't want to say it like that. Let me rephrase it. I don't like Dennis Allen as the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. Not that I don't like him. So, what do you think? Call me. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you think he's the right fit as the head coach for the New Orleans Saints? I don't think Dennis Allen's the right fit as the head coach. I don't think that Derek Carr is the right fit as our forever quarterback. I like Alvin Kamara on the team, and I loved watching his interview. He has become the face or one of the faces of the New Orleans Saints franchise. When I lived in New Orleans, when I covered the Saints forever, in the interview last night he talked about, yeah, I just kind of walk the streets. And he said it kind of in a very interesting way. He was saying, it's like, I guess Kamara said, he didn't exactly say in my previous life, but it's like I've lived here before. I feel like at some point in time I've lived in New Orleans before I actually lived here. So maybe that's what he was getting to. But what he meant is that he feels comfortable walking around the streets and around with all the pedestrians and all the wonderful things that New Orleans brings, but also the chaos and just partying 24/7, and just it gets kind of crazy down there sometimes. But he doesn't have security. He does. He just walks around, and I can truly attest to that. Back from my time covering the Saints and living in New Orleans, he would be around all the time at a lot of the same places. My friends and I would go and just hanging out, and people wouldn't bother him. So maybe if you just keep to yourself, that is the key. Join me in the conversation right now. This is Sports Drive with Kate. I'm Kate Thomas, and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola. But join me. I've asked a lot of questions. You'll have me talking so much, I got to stay hydrated over here. But I want to know if you have an opinion, a thought on why the Saints have not had the success they've needed to this year, and really after the past few years they haven't, obviously. But I said, I don't prefer Dennis Allen as the Saints head coach. I don't think he's the answer. That's what I said. And so, do you agree with me? Do you think differently? I really want to know. 850-623-1330. Call in. Haven't seen that phone line light up yet, but give me a call. Join me. Again, it's me here in the studio. I know a lot of people are going out of town for the holidays, everything like that. Let me tell you, though, real quick. We're coming up against a break, but I've got to tell you about a product that's out there right now. It's called Cat 5 Hurricane Fabric. So every one of us that live here down in the Panhandle, or even are visiting this area, we're familiar that we get hurricanes here. We get really big storms that cause a lot of damage to our homes, to our businesses, to everything, to the city in general. Well, there's this thing called hurricane fabric, but what's different about Cat 5 hurricane fabric is that it's 55% stronger than any of the other hurricane fabrics that are out there. And that's because it's made with this material called AstroGuard, which makes it have that strength and that durability. It's also just really lightweight. You can go see some pictures and everything and learn more about it if you go to their website, cat5hurricanefabric.com. And when you type in 5, it's the number 5, not the word. So cat, the number 5, hurricanefabric.com. Go there because you can look at what this protection looks like for your home or business. And guess what? They'll come out to your home or business and do a free estimate. Right now they've got a 10% off deal, and the best time to prepare for the hurricanes is when there's not a hurricane actually going on. So while you're thinking about things that would be good for you, even while you're spending some of this holiday money. Maybe you have some extra cash, but it doesn't matter because they've got financing options available. It saves you 20% to 40% in annual insurance savings, and it's one of the best ways to protect your home from hurricanes, big storms like we all have here in the Panhandle. Cat 5 Hurricane Fabric, that's what it is. Go to hurricanefabric.com to find out more information. Right now, you're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I'm your host, Kate Thomas, right here on Sports Drive with Kate.
Mom, can I have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Look through your children's eyes, and you'll see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. When they discover the forest, their imagination is inspired by the smell of pine, the crunch of leaves beneath their feet, the sound of birds calling out for attention. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating forest world. You are the hero in this book. This is a memory being made. This is what they will laugh about years from now. These are the roots, grounding and nourishing them.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Then look through your children's eyes and discover the magic all around you. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Tort Talk with personal injury lawyer Terrence A. Gross.
Hi, this is Terrence A. Gross. In 1986, the Florida Bar limited personal injury contingency fees through trial to 40%. At that time, I thought that was too high. I've now practiced personal injury law in Northwest Florida for over 40 years, and I'm proud to say I've never charged a client 40%.
Tort Talk is brought to you by Terrence A. Gross. Call 434-3333 or check him out at grossandschuster.com.
Hey guys, it's Kate Thomas from ESPN Pensacola. I would love to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
Ho, ho, ho. ESPN Pensacola's Sports Drive. Text 850-623-1330.
Welcome back into Sports Drive with Kate. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful Friday morning. The last few days we've had absolutely gorgeous weather here in Pensacola. And what I've really liked about it is that it's remained to stay a little bit crisp and cool outside, which makes it still feel like the holidays. But I need to knock on some wood somewhere because I want that to continue through the holidays. Well, looky, we've got a caller. Good morning. How are you? And who do we have this morning?
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you. You have Bob, your Lions fan.
Bob, the Lions fan. How are you doing? And Merry Christmas to you.
So, how are you doing today? And what would you like to talk about?
Well, maybe we should talk about Matthew Stafford.
Well, Matthew Stafford had a good game last night against the Saints. They were struggling.
Yeah, no, he sure did. I think he is underrated, but I think I will say this, and I hate it for your Lions, but being with the Rams, it just seems like this is the right fit. So I love seeing him succeed, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, somebody said last night at the end of the interview on Prime. So what if you today was the playoffs, you'd be playing the Lions? I don't want to think about that. Too many games still left to play.
Right. Well, they've
I
got
thought
to all
about it.
just focus on each game because right now, even with the Rams win last night, it's still a race in the NFC for sure.
Yeah. No, I think my Lions should be able to clinch it this weekend because they're playing against the Vikings their offense is falling apart with backup quarterback to backup quarterback to, not that they're a bad team. They have good players. They have good defense, but I think we'll be able to overcome some of those things as long as we don't make mistakes, and then we'll clinch the division, and then from there it's keeping everybody healthy for the last two games. Because we've still got to beat Dallas, and if we beat Dallas, then we still have a chance for the number one seed if San Francisco can lose a game here or there.
I think you guys
fun.
can do it. I'm tired of every week it's, at least with the media, it's do we love Dallas, do we hate Dallas? It really depends on if they win or lose. If they win, Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the league, and he's MVP. If they lose, they're kind of hush-hush for the rest of the week. That's normally how it goes. So hopefully you guys beat the Cowboys. I am not on that bandwagon fan for the Cowboys. Bob, I hope you have such a Merry Christmas. I was sad to see the Saints lose. If I was going to have one NFL team, that would probably be my team. But, I just like to see good competitive football. I wasn't too pleased with how the Saints were looking last night and, just different things with the coaching staff. But we'll see. I think the New Orleans Saints need to make some changes. I think your Detroit Lions have a great chance. I'm excited to see them. Other teams I'm excited about, I know people keep on talking about the Eagles and thinking they're on some kind of downhill. I don't agree with that. I think the Eagles are going to be just fine. I think the 49ers are going to be just fine. Christian McCaffrey, he's insane. I don't know. This is just me rambling to you, Bob, but those are some of my thoughts. I appreciate your call. You got anything else for me this morning?
What do you think about the AFC? Do you think it's a takeaway all the way for the Ravens? Are they going to be the team to beat? Or is Miami going to show up and surprise everybody?
Well, Bob, that's a really good question. I think both teams are really, really good, and I think both teams are led by two great quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, who I think needs to be talked more about when we're talking about MVP for the NFL, but the Ravens, they're quietly just doing a really good job. Nobody's really talking about the Ravens that much, and I don't know why, because they're kicking butt and taking names. And for the Dolphins, as long as they can get all their pieces of the puzzle, they're more emotional. I mean, both teams are passionate when they play, but I feel like with Tua at times, because he takes everything literally so seriously. It's like even if they won the Super Bowl, I feel like he would be like, all right, we got to go get the next win or something. So look, if they can be able to handle their emotions and execute on their plays and stay healthy, maybe the Dolphins. But the Ravens have a real chance.
Because he didn't play last weekend, is he going to be able to play the next 2 weeks, or is he out for the season? I didn't hear anything about that.
I have not seen the official injury report, but I will look that up for you and get that for you. Okay, Bob? And we'll talk about it because he's another guy when we talk about MVP in the NFL. He's another one that I believe deserves a chance for sure. He practiced yesterday. So that's a good sign, I would say. So right now, not on the injury report, Tyreek Hill did participate in practice. And this is a guy that runs off pure adrenaline. And I think sometimes when you're running off that, your body, I guess you just don't feel anything. So you can run on an ankle that's messed up.
So doesn't the Dolphins play the 10-4 Cowboys this weekend? Or did I see that matchup incorrectly?
Yes,
that would be a good game.
Christmas Eve, at 3:25. So that's I can't. It's going to be in Miami, which is great for the Dolphins. I think they need to have that home field advantage. Both of these teams. You talk about emotions. Both the Cowboys and the Dolphins, probably two of the most emotional teams when they're playing, and allow any little mistake at times that can affect their game if they don't get back, back into a good mental state. I think for both, literally the Cowboys and the Dolphins, that one should be good. But I'm going Dolphins winning that one. I'm not ready to make my official prediction yet. Let me think about it, and I'll give one later on in the show. Bob?
So other than who's the seventh seed in the NFC right now, that's got 2 more weeks. I think it plays out. If the Saints can pull it together, they have a chance. Somebody has to lose, I think, at this point. I don't think the Vikings, where they're at, they're going to make it. It might be the Saints, but who's the one above the Saints? It was it wasn't the. Who was the other?
In just their division, or
I
had everything lined up right here. And these are the days that I need a producer.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. As far as the NFC South right now, they've got the Bucs still at the top, and they play the Bucs here. I believe the next week. So the Bucs are 7-7. They've got to beat the Bucs. Falcons are 6-8. This is how bad the NFC South is. Panthers 2-12, and then Saints at 7-8. So right now the Bucs are the only one better than them when we're talking specifically about the NFC South. Right now, your Lions, they head the NFC North. 49ers lead the NFC West, and the Cowboys lead the NFC East. So, yeah, it will be a big one. Obviously, both the Lions and the Cowboys, y'all aren't going to have any issues with playoffs, but we'll see. It's going to be a good weekend of football. This is when things start getting serious and everything really, truly does matter. So, Bob, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep. And then one last thing, Josh Allen with the Bills. What do you think, how they're going to manage the last 3 games?
I just don't think I think that we all thought that the Bills were going to be something else. I'm not saying that they're doing really good still. It's just they've just gone through so much adversity, this team, just like year after year, and they struggle to stay healthy all the time. But when Josh Allen, when he plays really well, which he can, I think they're all over it. But he can be so hit or miss. I mean, he's either playing, lights out, but sometimes it's throughout the game too. He's not consistent enough for me. And I don't know. He just doesn't. I don't know. He's not my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's bad at all. I think he's a good quarterback. But
I think the running game is going good with Cook. Then he doesn't make that mistakes, so it's not all on Josh.
Well,
I think if the running game works well, it opens up that passing game, which he is a good passer. He is able to make the throws that need to be made. But when you got to throw 40, 50 times in a game, and it's all on you, sooner or later your arm gets tired, and you're going to make a bad throw.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I got.
I love it, Bob. Well, yeah, Josh Allen is lucky that he has James Cook. Look, Bob, happy holidays.
Have a great weekend.
Happy holidays. Good luck to your Lions this week. Look, I think he made a good point. Very lucky to have James Cook, but for Josh Allen, this is what I want to see. I feel like it's his pocket presence. Maybe that's what it is. He's not making quick enough decisions on the field. And I feel like because he does that, he gets banged up more than he should. He needs to be smarter. He needs to play smarter. That's what I think for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I think for a lot of the quarterbacks we're seeing now, and this is something that Tom Brady had alluded to In an interview I saw recently, we spoke about it briefly yesterday right here on Sports Drive with Kate on ESPN Pensacola. Again, I'm Kate Thomas. If you're just now joining in, we're talking about NFL and quarterbacks, and now I'm referencing back to something I saw with Tom Brady, where Brady's just basically kind of ripping where the NFL is right now and what they're doing, all these different rule changes they keep making, and he just says people need to go back to the fundamentals, of the game. They need to have a good football IQ if you're a quarterback. You need to be smart. You've got to make smart, quick decisions. You've got to know every play. You've got to know everything about your opponent, their tendencies, what they're doing. If you want to be great, then do the work. Put the work in. But he just thinks the game is more a fluff game these days. I don't know if you agree with that or not. You can let me know. It's essentially what he said. He didn't say those exact words, but Tom Brady just doesn't think the game is what it used to be, just because it's not as physical of a game. Players aren't playing as smart. Instead of just hitting where you should be hitting and tackling in the proper tackle areas, then you don't have to make special rules for all the officials. And if we want to start getting into the NFL officiating, that's a whole other thing. And I hate it because there's a shortage of officials just in general. But it's really due to harassment. But now it's probably because what's going on with some of this officiating that we're seeing. I mean, I get they're humans too. I get it. And we all make mistakes. Nobody does anything perfect. But officiating, especially in the NFL and really in college football, really just at a lot of levels, I don't know. Maybe we need to start looking at that and make some changes over there. Talking a lot of football talk right now. Come join the show. We're streaming live. We've got a live video stream. It's on our Facebook page at ESPN Pensacola. So you can go on that, check that out. YouTube channel, ESPN Pensacola 1330. This is our local show. We cover national, state, and local. So there's always so much going on, but I love to specifically hear from you because this is an opinion-based show. I like to hear your opinion, especially if I have certain questions. It helps me see things from other people's point of view, and maybe what is their point and why does their point make sense, or why does it not make sense? It could literally be either way. But call us, 850-623-1330. Give us a call, 850-623-1330. And this is my other suggestion to you, because don't text and drive, but just save our ESPN Pensacola phone number in your phone as ESPN Pensacola call line, or just ESPN Pensacola. And it's just Pensacola area code 850, then 623-1330. Again, that's 623-1330. You can text that code as well. Since we are live, I want to show you all something. Right now, FSU, undefeated this season. They got a big game in the Orange Bowl. But we've got a enter to win contest for this amazing FSU Chris Winkie jersey. It's signed. Chris Winkie was the Heisman Trophy winner in 2000. This is his FSU quarterback jersey, autographed. It's framed. It looks that I wish I could win this jersey. And I'm trying to do a better job at showing it to you all, but this is a really good jersey. So all you have to do to win this, and I'm going to set it down carefully. Download the ESPN Pensacola app. Open the app. Click enter to win Chris Winkie jersey. So to enter to win it, we're doing the drawing for the winner January 9th. Download ESPN Pensacola, open the app, click enter to win. This is Sports Drive with Kate, and I'm your host, Kate Thomas.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Big guys celebrate the holidays big. Little John's Big and Tall Fashions and Alterations has lots of great gift ideas for the big guy on your list. Holiday print apparel, accessories and gifts, and men's fragrances like Creed, Versace, and Christian Dior. Holiday sales are going on now with savings up to 60% off. Sizes extra large and up or tall sizes from large, tall, and up. Little John's has got you covered. The store has a brand new layout with more variety than before, so visit today. 5700 North Davis Avenue, Pensacola, or littlejohnsbigandtall.com.
Beret has been there for my family, I feel like, through every milestone. And so when this stage of life started coming up, I just knew that Beret was the only option.
I came in here nervous. I saw the ring and I was like, yep, I know that's it. That's the one for her. It's beautiful. It's just as special as she is, and it means a lot more than just will you marry me. It's just something that words can't describe.
That was so cute.
From all of us at Beret Jewelers,
happy holidays.
Do you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hi, Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One to wish you and yours the happiest of holiday seasons. We're proud to bring you a full slate of exciting NFL action this holiday season and hope you enjoy all the great matchups. Don't forget to stay tuned as the road to the playoffs continues in the coming weeks. Season's greetings from everyone on our Westwood One team, and thanks for listening.
The playoffs are coming. Catch every pass, every play right here on ESPN Pensacola. Local, state, and national sports scores and opinions on ESPN Pensacola Sports Drive. Starting now.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Okay. We've been talking a lot about the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams. I was posing the question, what do you think is going on with the New Orleans Saints? Do you think they even have a chance? Yes, they still are literally just hanging on by a thread in order to clinch a spot in the playoffs. They really, truly needed that win last night. It wasn't a must win, but they really, really needed it. It's because the NFC South is just so bad. For the NFC South, they're at least second in the NFC South specifically. We've got a caller. Good morning. How are you? Welcome into the show. And who do we have this morning?
Hello, my name is Jesse.
Hey, Jesse. How have you been? How's your Friday going so far?
Pretty good. I have to eat some humble pie real quick before I get into the Saints question. I thought Georgia would make it in, and they didn't. Alabama did, and Texas.
Sorry, you're a Bulldog?
Well, no, I'm an Alabama fan, but I called in and at one point and I said, well, I think Georgia will still get in unless Alabama beats the living tar out of them. And it was just a 3-point game, and Georgia did not get in. So, college football's weird. Anyway,
College
New Orleans,
football, Jesse, I'll tell you this really quick. My thoughts on it is specific this year, really a lot, but throughout the last few years, it's the wild, wild west. There's no structure right now in the NCAA with the NIL. You've got the NIL is attracting players to get into the transfer portal, but players also want to get in because they want to play somewhere and showcase their skill. Then now you can transfer more than once. I mean, it's crazy. College football is insane. I felt like I did say if Georgia, and I can't remember, I'd have to go back and listen, but I finally said, look, if Georgia loses in the SEC championship, they're not going to get in because they just couldn't lose that game. And I hate it for Georgia because I think they're one of the best teams, actually. And I hate that that's how it is. It's just like for FSU, them not getting a spot in. I also do think Alabama is also one of the best teams, but maybe they picked the 4 best. I can't wait to see the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. I can't wait to see how these games play out. I'll tell you that, Jesse.
and it's the last year we have to deal with this because we go to 12 team playoff. And I had a good conversation with my brother-in-law, who's an FSU fan, last night. He's in town for the holidays, and we were talking about it. I was like, the whole reason they never had more playoffs is because these college kids were not getting paid. And you're talking about their careers potentially and getting injured. Now that they have NIL and they can get paid, you can expand. They can play an extra game or two. It's not that as big of a deal. They can still get compensation. Even your 53rd. How many? I don't know. NFL team is 53 men. What's the roster size on a college team? Is it 70? I don't know. But anyway.
That's a good one. I guess the one I'd like to know the roster size that they take on the road. That would be the one I'm interested.
Yeah, well, but all those players, even down to that, like they can still get paid, so they can still get some kind of compensation. And if you're not playing, there's less risk to get hurt. So now that they're getting paid, as they should be, because we've turned collegiate sports into an actual occupation. Culturally, that's all on everybody. That's on all the eyeballs that watch it and want it to be competitive. They're getting paid, and now we can have a more competitive playoff bracket, which is good. This is the final, I think, growing pain of it moving towards that.
That's a good way to see it. And yes, they didn't want to have more games and expand it for a long period of time because of that. You're completely right, because a lot of these players' dreams now, I need to go find the exact percentage that go from playing in the NCAA then to a professional career in the sport that they competed in. But I went to, I guess it was the NCAA Hall of Fame or something I went to recently. My mind can't remember, but they had all the percentages, the amount who even go from high school to college and then from college to pro. And it's a very small percentage, but still, why would an athlete risk a future career of their dreams when they weren't getting paid? Now, at least they're finally bringing some money. And now they're even talking about doing NIL for Florida for high school, for the FHSAA, Georgia High School Athletic Association. They approved NIL for high school students. So I guess everybody gets paid these days. That's how it works. It's nice.
Are you getting any kickbacks? Because I'm not getting any.
I'm not getting any kickbacks. I'll tell you that. So that's okay. Just do it for the love of sports, Jesse. Any thoughts on the NFL while we have you on the line and some of the things we were talking about?
So with the Saints, I think right now the season is long. It's one game longer, and the Saints just have seemed kind of lifeless. So you're not going to get any wild card out of the NFC South. Whoever wins the NFC South, that's going to be it, and they're probably going to be the 4th seed. I would think right now it's going to be the Bucs. They're peaking at the right moment. They have Mike Evans, who, fun fact, Mike Evans is the only active receiver who has had 10 consecutive seasons of over 1,000 receiving yards in the NFL.
I
10
love it.
consecutive seasons.
I
of
love you bringing this
1,000.
stats. Mike Evans is the man. I try to get him on my
I
fantasy
mean,
team every
10
year, and every year he
consecutive
produces. So
seasons.
I'm familiar with how powerful he is. He's one of the best. Love Mike Evans for sure. Yeah, Tampa Bay, they're on a roll. They've got something clicking. The Saints don't. Basically, I think if the Saints get another loss, they're completely out. They just can't. So look.
Yeah, they need a miracle. And Baker Mayfield is playing He's playing some of the best football he's played in his
ever
professional
played.
career.
Maybe this is actually the spot. Who would have known that Baker Mayfield could have done a better job with the Bucs than Tom Brady?
Yeah, well,
not quite yet. Not quite yet, but no, I'm just
apples
joking.
to oranges. Baker Mayfield still has. I think he could be having a renaissance of his career, and he's been tossed around. And I always feel bad for quarterbacks who get tossed around from coaching staff to coaching staff to coaching staff, and they never have a consistent program that they're dealing with. And they're always having to learn a new thing. And Baker Mayfield can pick these things up pretty quick. He's kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're very intelligent quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
But if they don't have consistency, and if the team can't gel around them, and they have different coordinators and different coaches, the man just needs give the team some consistency. I'm tired of coaches or of general managers and owners who just after a year or two just turn everything over. I understand you don't want to get caught in the 4 or 5 seasons in a row that are bad, but there is something to say for growing pains, and you do have to kind of bite the bullet and let things happen. It's too knee-jerk sometimes at the professional level.
I completely agree. I think it's happening at all levels. Jesse, you've got some great insight. Thank you for calling in. I hope that you continue to call back. I'll be here Christmas morning, every day right here in the studio. So please save that number, Jesse, 850-623-1330.
I might send a sympathy call in to you.
All right, you should. Thank you so much for all your insight. Really, really good points. Appreciate everything. Love when everyone calls or when you call. Like Jesse. Jesse, that was really great. Just great insight. He was able to spit facts. I love it. It's nice to have you join in on the conversation here on my morning show, Sports Drive with Kate, right here on ESPN Pensacola, because this is a local sports show. And we are in our first week, I think, where it's been now maybe 6 business days, if you would say, of live video streaming, and we're doing that on our YouTube channel. That's just ESPN Pensacola 1330, and then also on our Facebook channel. And trust me, we're going to get this video a lot more interactive, so it's just not me sitting here talking to you, but you can comment and chat. I see Matt Beck. He has commented, hello, good morning, Matt. And yeah, if he's referring to the Saints and Derek Carr, he said, look, I don't think that he's the franchise quarterback either. Yeah, Derek Carr, he's not it for the Saints. And then even what Jesse and I were talking about earlier, how things have changed. It's these days everybody wants instant gratification, and they want it in sports. So if you're a coach and you go to a new team and you don't have instant success, and you're not the best recruiter and the best play caller, and you don't hire the best assistants and people to surround you and help coach up the rest of your team, and you don't have everybody buy in, and maybe you don't have the right players, or you get riddled with injuries. I mean, I can go through the list on and on and on, but it's hard to create a winning program in a year or less. It's hard to create one regardless, and it's really difficult to create one at the professional level, especially in the NFL. You hear coaches talk all the time. They coach in the NFL and say, just winning one game is hard. I don't care what the other team's record is. I don't care if it's a rivalry, if it's not one. Just winning one game in the NFL is hard. we are going to talk a lot more sports. I still want to hear from you. I want to get your thoughts. You can call, you can text in right here to the ESPN Pensacola studio and join me live. I would love that. 850-623-1330. 850-623-1330. This is Sports Drive with Kate. I'm your host, Kate Thomas, and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Climate Tech, heating and cooling is what we know. Call 857-4700.
Hello everyone, Travis Thompson here from Climatech of Professional Air, your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. It really doesn't matter what time of year we're in, you don't want to have heating and air conditioning issues in your home, much less have to replace your comfort system. The good news is, if you happen to need a new system, we have tremendous promotions going on right now that can save you a ton of money. For a limited time, our high-efficiency systems have rebates up to $1,500 and income tax credits up to $2,000. And we're including a full 10-year parts and labor warranty valued at up to $2,900. So if you have to invest in a new system, the timing right now is perfect. Want more information? Call us.
Climate Tech, heating and cooling is what we know. Call 857-4700.
Guys, we know what you're after, especially this holiday season at the Pony Gentlemen's Club. The Pony's 12 Days of Christmas continues with $3 holiday drinks, daily shot specials, and complimentary entry when you donate 5 cans of food. Plus, the Pony's enchanting entertainers will handle all your gift wrapping needs. So don't miss out on all the festive celebrations at the Pony, located at 500 East Gregory Street. The Pony, where sophistication meets indulgence.
This is Jim Grimes from Southern Media, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
May your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and laughter. This is Jessica with Pensacola's Kia Auto Sport, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From all of us at Duncan McCall Advertising, we want to wish you a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
May your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and laughter. This is Sheila Nichols from Pensacola State College, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny. Weekday mornings, 9 to 11 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Sports Drive.
Just pick up your telephone and dial.
Call or text your thoughts to 850-623-1330.
Welcome back into Sports Drive with Kate. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. You can listen to us anywhere, though. Just download our app. It's ESPN Pensacola. So when you go to your app store on your Android or your iOS device, just type in the app store, whatever that is, ESPN space Pensacola, download the app, open the app, and then at the top, you can enter to win a Chris Winkie jersey back when he was FSU's quarterback. It's signed. He was the 2000 Heisman Trophy winner, framed. Thank you to our friends over at Coins, Sports Cards, and Racing Collectibles for donating this. So just showing you, if you are watching live, I've got to show this off again because it's so cool. enter to win. And also on our app, that's the place where you can get all the latest news. You can listen to all the shows, everything like that. So make sure to get that and tune in to our live stream as well. All right, so we had a comment on one of our streams. How about Bill Belichick and the Saints? I can't read it all the way, but maybe as the Saints head coach next year. I think that's what it says. Okay. Thanks, Matt, for your comment. I really appreciate that. How about, I could see Bill Belichick in New Orleans. I would not be opposed to that scenario because he sort of, in some very small way, reminds me of Sean Payton. I don't know if they just always have that kind of RBF look on their face at all times. They just never look happy. They don't smile very often. I don't know if it's that, but they just seem similar in the way they handle things as far as just leadership style and other things like that. And I would not be opposed, Matt, if at some point the Saints acquired Bill Belichick as a head coach. But they just need some changes. There needs to be some coaching changes. They need to get a different quarterback. I don't know who. I don't even know where the Saints fall in the NFL draft or right now exactly where they're putting their focus on what position they're even looking at. I don't know. I'd start training up Jameis. I would do something. I would do anything if I was the New Orleans Saints. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Sports Drive with Kate, and I'm your host, Kate Thomas, right here on ESPN Pensacola. But we're talking Saints, we're talking Rams, just because of Thursday night football last night. But we've got so much good football this weekend as well. What is the game that you're looking forward to the most? I know that there's another good one coming up with the Ravens, 49ers. That one's going to be great. You can call us. You can join in on the conversation anytime. 850-623-1330. The other thing, I wanted to sort of get into some NFL MVP conversation. And if you could give me, because I'm trying to think who are some of my top. I was going to say top four. Who would those be? We have a caller. Good morning. How are you? And who do we have this morning?
Hey, Kate Thomas. I am good. You got Ronald, dude. How you doing?
Ronald, you're back. Glad to have you back. Again, you can always listen to us online if you're having any radio troubles. Ronald, letting you know.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Look, I can't even hear the show. I'm home today. I'm just calling in to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Kate Thomas, you did your thing this year. Good to have you in town.
Thank you so much, Ronald. Before I let you go, can you give me, I want to know if you're looking between and had to choose between Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy. Who do you go with for this season?
Who do I go with for this season?
Between those two, if you had to pick between Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy.
Right now, I would go Lamar Jackson. I'll be able to tell you more Monday. We'll see Monday, man.
We'll see Monday. Yes, we will.
Big game, Kate Thomas.
And I'm going to have my whole family sitting around watching the game with me, and we're going to get into it. Ronald, thank you so much. I appreciate your call. I'll be here on Christmas. You're always welcome to tune in. Thank you so much for calling in, and a happy holiday to you and your lovely wife and your family, and hope that you guys really enjoy it. Appreciate it. Ronald said if he had to pick between Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy, just saying. Like that's who I'm giving you right now, just based off that. Who's better? Who, if they, are both, if it's just them in the race for the MVP, I don't know. Who's better? Jackson, he's had a good season, but right now Purdy leads the league. He's got 29 touchdowns right now, and he's got the least amount of interceptions for quarterbacks in the entire league. Is it because they're playing too safe with Brock Purdy? That's one that I'm looking forward to. You know, I hate anyone who's a Saints fan. It just hasn't been the same ever since the Drew Brees and Sean Payton days, and just even after they won that Super Bowl back in 2010. I'll never forget, because the Super Bowl was played in Miami, but everyone who could afford to go down and make the Super Bowl trip to Miami, they all went. But the rest of the entire city of New Orleans and anyone who lived in Louisiana, they all decided to go downtown. Of course, there's only one place to go if you are a true tourist in this moment, in Bourbon Street. And I'll never forget, after the Saints won the Super Bowl that year, we were in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, and it was the craziest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. People were hanging from the stoplights, walking on cars. I mean, it was crazy, kind of scary as well. But ever since then, they've had so many chances at almost making it, to the very top of this, and then just failing every time because maybe one mistake here, or maybe it was even an officiating call. Who knows? But they haven't had the best of luck. And then after that, just with Dennis Allen and all this change, and it's not like he's brand new or anything. I mean, he's been with the team, but I just don't think he's the coach. And yes, I would like to see Bill Belichick, if that could ever happen. I don't know in what magical world we can make that happen, but there just needs to be a lot of changes. They're not the team, and now that they're 7-8, they're still second in the NFC South, but it doesn't matter because they still got to play the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they're fourth in the NFC total. So look, and they're first in the NFC South. And yeah, I think the Bucks have a lot of good pieces. I think the Lions are doing great as far as talking about the NFC. When we're talking about AFC, yeah, obviously the Dolphins, if they're healthy, if they really stick to their game plan, if they keep their head literally in the game, just as far as staying focused on the next play and not getting frustrated with maybe a play that happened before, or not worrying too much about anything else, I think they can do well. Chiefs, obviously, still very dominant, but still not the same team. Not the same Patrick Mahomes. Not a bad Patrick Mahomes. Not a bad one. Just not the same one. As far as who has already clinched their spots in the playoffs for the AFC, it's the Ravens. So I like myself Lamar Jackson, if we're talking to Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy. And then for the NFC, you've got the 49ers, who are number one in the NFC. So that's going to be a good one again Monday night. Then the Cowboys at number 2 and the Eagles at number 5. It's a lot of fun here. I love talking sports with you. Make sure to save our number. Make sure to watch the live stream. Join in. You can text in to the phone line anytime, too, and say, hey, I'd like to hear about this, or what. Anytime you want. 850-623-1330. That's the number to call, text in. And again, we're doing this giveaway of this Chris Winkie jersey. All you have to do is download the ESPN Pensacola app. Once you download the app, you open it, and then you click enter to win at the top of the app. If you have any trouble downloading the app or can't find it, text me and let me know too. 850-623-1330. Love the conversation. Love hearing from you. Thank you to all of the listeners who called this morning. Bob, Jesse, Ronald. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. It's a crazy morning all the time right here in the ESPN Pensacola studio, but I appreciate you. I hope that you have a Merry Christmas. I'll be able to wish you an actual one on Christmas Day. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Look, just make sure to spread joy, to spread love during this holiday, because sometimes the holidays aren't joyful for everyone. So just be nice to everyone. It's going to be a good Christmas. We're going to have a lot of really good football. I'm really excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see all of the football games and have my family centered around watching all of them. We've got Tiger Talk today. Tiger Talk 10 a.m. We'll talk everything college football. We'll talk some LSU, but lots of college football to talk about on that one. So 10 a.m. right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 a.m., 99.1 FM.